The Sacred Encounter, a story beyond the lens, meeting Jesus. This narrative is proudly brought to you by Polly Speaks For You. At Polly Speaks For You, we are committed to empowering individuals, especially those with disabilities or learning challenges, through innovative text-to-speech and voice recognition technology. Polly Speaks For You is more than just software. It's a tool for self-expression, connecting people with the world in meaningful ways. By blending the richness of history with cutting-edge technology, Polly Speaks For You demonstrates that every voice, whether preserving the past or shaping the future, has the potential to inspire. While we strive to make the story engaging, our primary focus is on storytelling itself. The visuals are secondary. We're showcasing the remarkable capabilities of text-to-speech software that bring these stories to life. As I ran through the crowd, every step felt heavier with anticipation, but also lighter with excitement. The air felt different, electric, like the world had paused just for this moment. I could feel the presence of something greater, something ancient and timeless, drawing me in. In the frenzy of it all, I was reminded of the stillness that Jesus often embodied, unrushed, unbothered by the chaos around him. There was no need for fast-moving cameras or frenetic energy. His very being commanded the space, turning a bustling moment into one of absolute calm. When I finally reached the center of the crowd, I stood there just watching, almost in disbelief. There he was, real and tangible, yet his presence felt otherworldly. The way he looked at me wasn't with judgment or expectation, but with understanding, as though he knew me better than I knew myself. It was as if time itself had suspended, and I was no longer worried about the logistics of what was happening. But I still couldn't escape the nagging thought, I should be recording this. I should be documenting this for the world. This is too important to forget. But something inside me gently nudged that thought aside. Instead of reaching for my phone, I closed my eyes for a moment and just breathed. The sound of his voice, soft and gentle, filled my heart, and I knew this was a moment for my soul, not for the world to see. It felt like being invited into the deepest part of existence, a place where the noisy distractions of daily life vanished, and only the truth remained. When the moment passed, I found myself standing there alone, the crowd thinning, the weight of the experience settling deep within me. I had not taken any footage, not captured anything that could later be posted for others to view. But that didn't matter anymore. What I had received was something that couldn't be translated into a view count or likes. It was an understanding, a profound connection. In the days that followed, I found myself replaying the encounter over and over in my mind. At first, it felt impossible to even begin to articulate the depth of what had happened. How could I? How could words, mere symbols, do justice to the ineffable? It wasn't just an event I had witnessed. It was a turning point in my entire existence. Jesus had looked into my soul, seen the depths of my struggles, my doubts, and my fears, and without saying a word, he had offered peace. The more I tried to reconstruct the narrative for others, the more I realized something. The story wasn't about me trying to explain what I had seen or felt. It was about what I had become. I had been given a glimpse into something much larger than myself, something that had the power to change not just my perspective, but the entire world. The true power of that moment wasn't in the visual documentation. It was in the transformation that took place within me. It dawned on me that the story I was sharing wasn't about the event. It was about the experience of being transformed by it. I didn't need footage to prove the reality of the encounter. The transformation in my heart was more tangible than any video could ever show. I wanted to share that feeling, the deep, soul-shifting peace that had enveloped me. And so I began writing, not for validation, not for views, but as a way to express what I had witnessed within myself. Through words, I could begin to understand my own shift in perspective. Jesus' presence had been a mirror, reflecting not just who I was, but who I was capable of becoming. He had shown me the possibility of stepping out of my small self and into a larger, more meaningful existence. It wasn't about being perfect. It was about being present with others, with myself, with the world around me. Each word I wrote became an act of devotion, of humility. I started telling the story, not with the goal of impressing or gaining recognition, but to share the profound peace I had found. It was the kind of peace that couldn't be captured in any physical form. It was a peace that lived in the spaces between words, in the silence of the heart, and in the understanding that every moment was an invitation to live with intention, to love with purpose. As I shared the story, the more I realized this. The greatest gift of that encounter wasn't the physical experience of standing before Jesus, but the invitation he had extended to me to live a life beyond the mundane. I wasn't just telling a story, I was inviting others to see the possibility within themselves, to feel that transformation in their own lives. Perhaps the most beautiful part of it all was this. By choosing to reconstruct the narrative with words, I had turned the experience into something more than a fleeting moment. It had become a living story, one that could be retold and shared again and again, not just with others, but with myself. Every time I spoke about it, I understood more deeply what it meant, not just to have a moment of spiritual awakening, but to let that moment permeate every aspect of life. And in the end, it wasn't the footage that mattered. It was the truth I carried forward with me. The truth that, in the most sacred of encounters, the narrative is written not by a camera, but by the transformation it leaves behind in our hearts. The deeper meaning of the encounter becomes clear. The moment with Jesus isn't just about a fleeting visual experience, but about a profound inner shift. The experience transforms the person, and the narrative becomes about sharing that internal transformation rather than the external event. It's a reminder that true experiences, those that touch our hearts deeply, transcend documentation and are shared through words, actions, and the way we live our lives afterward. If you're enjoying this story, please remember to hit like, share, and subscribe. Your support helps us continue creating content that educates and empowers. To learn more about South Africa's leading accessibility software and to support our dyslexic-friendly initiative, visit www.paulaspeaksforyou.co.za. Drop a comment if you want more information. Thank you for watching this video.